Hi, I'm Stefan Bökelmann, the organizer and host of the emBO++, the next level conference for embedded system developers. And thanks to Seger, you can watch this video for free.
Okay. Okay. So last conference, I made a full presentation of the audio player, and this should only be a short lightning talk, something like that. So Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "Without music, life would be a mistake." And I think this is what I don't want to be a mistake. Many older people like myself have large CD collections. You may know this, and we don't want to live our lives in mistake. We want to bring our music collection back to life. What I'm interested in the first step is is the software point of view. That is why we are here. And there, especially the question, how do I play the many CDs I've acquired in the course of my life as easy as possible? And there was a much more pressing question. How would this work for my children who constantly occupy my cell phone? I also bought, my eldest son is 15, and I bought tons of CDs, and I want to have them somehow be not lost. The first thought would be use music streaming, but 3 accounts or 1 family account and off we go. Is this the way to go? But this is not sustainable. Do I really need an account for 5 CDs with children's songs that I actually already own and have already paid for? Could this be done somehow easier? And in vice versa, I converted the CD to digital files early on and equipped them with additional information, ID3 tags and things like that. And in order to be able to play these audio files in an easy and child-friendly way, I started programming. And the goal was to concentrate on today's common methods. So use modern programming languages, modern techniques. And the result is a Yocto project on a Raspberry Pi. I use a Raspberry Pi Zero Wi-Fi that is about, I'm not sure, $15 or something. It runs a small Linux and a server that provides a web server using Boost, ASIO, and Beast. And that was my programming stuff that I did. I told you, hopefully you know, last conference. Of course, we have a REST interface, we have WebSocket, and everything that you need for modern web services. Streams can be played in parallel on different cell phones, and that was the prototype I once implemented. You can play on different cell phones. Furthermore, you can play locally on a Raspberry Pi if you have a microphone like this here, and you need to connect them. This is a battery here, and to control all this stuff, I use HTML interface with JavaScript that is working from a cell phone, and it's generated from the web server in the background on the Raspberry Pi, and there you can use search, so you can find something, you can select whatever you want to here. You can control the player itself, like volume and position and pause and all this stuff. And of course, from the outside, you can use RFID things here. That is a wooden stick, and here's an RFID receiver sender, and there you can start and stop music if you like, and use this as a controller. All of this is, of course, never finished. That is why I'm always happy to hear from you, from others who want to contribute. So please just contact me if you want to contribute to this music player. And that would be the lightning talk, but one more thing maybe. What would such a topic be if you didn't consider the different dimensions and not just only the technical things? A question that accompanied me again and again during the development was often injected by others is, isn't the time of owning music over, and hasn't it been replaced by the age of streaming? I thought about the question for a long time. The idea that you don't have to own anything anymore was complemented originally by reuse, sharing, and lending. That was the original idea. But this has been abruptly stopped with streaming. The only thing that is left over is you don't own anything. But there's no reuse and sharing and stuff. The reason for that, for this move towards streaming, can be explained by mainly two things. The producer's fear of dwindling revenues, the reuse, sharing, and lending is not very attractive to producers, no matter of what field. The issue of piracy, you remember that rumor during, I don't know, 2000 or something, Napster and things like that, hit producers very hard, so they don't like that. And of course, today's prevailing consumer behavior also contributes to this development. That is what I want to think, or let you think about. Access to all major label titles at a low price is very attractive. It's very attractive to many people. And one is only able to listen to a small fraction of that socially available titles, but the incredible amount of possibilities is impressive, right? The disadvantage of not being able to access music files at all if you cancel the service is accepted. After all, you didn't think about quitting when you're smoking, right? 12 months of streaming for about $120 means you have only paid for the you've paid for the actual use. You paid for the service, and you don't have acquired any ownership. $120 might go with wind after 12 months. So that's the way it goes. Um, and now, yeah, I come to cloud computing. Yeah, what is cloud? Yeah, I talk to many people and they have completely different ideas of cloud. Cloud means, for me, it means two things. Cloud means you have a hard drive not on your place, but somewhere on the server of someone else. And you have software not on your place, in your place, but somewhere else. That means that somebody is responsible and he knows what he did mostly, and he installed the software and he did everything for making the software work, getting updates and all this stuff, and giving you access. But yeah, you can easily stop them using this software. And I come across the clouding. So, but cloud is one thing. The other thing is AI. Yeah, how great is the freedom of action of the individual choice really? Or look from the other side. What price does the individual pay for his or her free choice? There are many sociological analysis on this. There's one book, I don't know, maybe you know that, from Harvard professor Shoshona Zuboff. I think she's retired, under the title Surveillance Capitalism. And it's about the force with which advertising for products has changed through the digital transformation and to the disadvantage of human beings or for the consumers. The digital system, with its many AI approaches, has emancipated itself. However, quite differently than predicted in science fiction literature. It's not man against machine, man against robots. It's the digital system often no longer function as we want. We function as the digital system wants. And that is the main point. Concretely, on the music consumption, one can produce more profit if one finds a union of the music taste of the user and the price of the individual music. The music title. This effort is legitimated by the competitive pressure. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Not. I don't want to make it too negative, but this struggle for profit may no longer put the user satisfaction on top. The AI for compiling music tracks does not want to surprise the user. There will be no new ideas. It wants to keep the user with the service at the lowest possible cost. And maybe wants to change the user's taste to be more cost efficient. And that is the main thing. The IA is a good thing if it's really only interprets your taste. It's ugly if they interpret your taste to get to a new taste, to have a new idea of music. How music tracks are modified to be attractive to the general user is the other side of the coin. This procedure was presented in a very entertaining way by Mirko Droschmann. I don't know, mostly Germans know that it's Mr. Wissen to Go. You can find their videos on the internet. And okay, and I want to stop AI now. I want to focus on another topic. I took that picture for pottery. Gifts that create effort and expense are no longer in demand today. Giving a friend a mixtape or creating something for him is not the point. You take your money and buy something and give it to somebody. It should not create any effort. So pottery is a very good example for that. Pottery is no longer used today to make a gift. Pottery is mostly used for self-discovery or to ground yourself. It is I-related. It's not for anybody else. It's for you. That's the reason why you're pottery.
Wir sind hier in einem kleineren Grossraumbüro.
Bei den Leitern habe ich die Freiheit, dass ich, wenn ich anfange und wenn ich höre mit dem Arbeiten, eigentlich selber einteilen kann.
Overall, how I will do it, it's just up to me and they give me a lot of freedom.
Für mich ist die Faszination, mit anderen Leuten einen kreativen Moment zu generieren.
Great colleagues, great environment basically.
It's really nice here and I don't have any issues living here.
Am meisten schätze ich in den creatirs Systems, dass wir ein sehr junges Team sind, sowie dass ich auch meine Arbeitszeit in einem gewissen Raum selber bestimmen kann.
And I could merge my life hobby with my office job.
Das Besondere an den creatirs System ist sicher die Kultur und die Dynamik, die es gibt in dem Team. Es ist jeden Tag ein bisschen anders.
We have good organization which will help you to get used to the company in the first couple of months especially.
Das ist sehr interessant und ja, macht mir Spaß.
If you create a mixtape, for example, from the radio with a lot of work, and it doesn't sound good, as I remember from my youth. This is not demanded. You don't. It's not a good gift at all. And be honest. The selection of tracks today is so incredibly large that it takes an equal, incredible amount of time to choose. And you can only give this to as an alternative to an AI. The AI will then decide for you, but with all the consequences I told you. And this is not to say that streaming is bad per se, or that IA is bad per se. I try to make that clear. But it's dangerous. And what we see from a German or European point of view, you see worse things. You see bad things. The general data protection regulation in Europe was a more or less desperate attempt to subject streaming at least a little to the interest of the users on the one hand and the content producers on the other hand. And however, that leads to something weird, and such a modern endeavor to giving this to bureaucrats does not lead to a good solution, as you see. Perhaps, okay, that is a long story about gifts and things. But now, just come to dinosaurs. There are dinosaurs in that area, and from a German perspective, the dinosaurs are public broadcasters. Having media that are independent of politics is one of the most important social achievements. But the target group addressed by these broadcasters today is getting older and older. the younger ones use new, substantially more undemocratic media forms for themselves. Yeah, dangerous. The broadcasting corporations produce more and more past the majority of the people, claim for it, however, ever further rising fees. Yeah, that is I don't know for the rest of the world, but it's a big German problem. The preparation of the media is one thing, but many people talk about that. I don't want to talk about things like that. It is a big issue, and it's big discussed. But what I want to focus today is the distribution channel. Yeah, the old public broadcasters mainly use a broadcast infrastructure with no return channel. Yeah, the good and bad. Yeah, and don't having a return channel is somehow bad, but having this channel that can be received largely uncontrolled is really good thing. And I want to remember maybe the older ones of you, the very old ones of you. There was Thomas Mann. Yeah, you may know him. He had a speech, or he had speeches, Deutsche Hörer. It was German listeners to, and he tried to communicate with Germans from 1950, from 1940 via BBC. It was during World War One from London. So there's a little possibility of a small opposition, and therefore that is a thing despots really don't like. Therefore, they fight massively against the maintenance of such an infrastructure. Bad thing is that corporations do not really see any profit increase in it. So the society itself, in order to protect its own freedom, must provide such a channel. One of the outcomes, 1945, after World War II for Germany, was the public broadcasters. What is happening from this noble idea, from this idea to have independent media, however, is a very German problem. The public broadcasters, as I said before, are financed by fees and thus not by the state. This has prevented the state from interfering with the media. But this fee must be paid equal to a tax, so it's very unpopular. Paying for something that is only for old people and don't care for normal media consumers. So numerous reforms did not solve the problem, but lead to rejection from part of the society. Until today, the problem smolders. So it is very easy for streaming-based systems, in contrast to a broadcast system, to be controlled, to redirect, to influence, to ever block access. This procedure, e.g. for filtering content, is used in many places in the world. And here lies the problem. We are all sliding into a future that is no longer determined by free will, but by non-democratic algorithms that can easily be controlled by despots. So using your own music is not the worst idea, even when streaming is available. And this little piece of code that I do with an audio player is my contribution to that. And I want to end with a quote from Hannah Arendt. it's not World War II, but 1978. The sad truth of the matter is that most evil is done by people who never made up their minds to be good or evil. Please keep that in mind when you're programming. Thank you.
If you found this video informative, make sure to subscribe our channel. Click the thumbs up if you liked it, or leave us a comment on what we could improve. If you are looking for a job in the embedded industry, or you've got one to offer, drop us a mail to jobs@embo.io. That's jobs@embo.io. And we'll make sure that you match up. My name is Stefan Bückelmann, and as long as you keep watching, we'll keep covering the internals of the embedded industry.